Allow your body to settle. Take a couple of deep breaths. Allow the external to leave your consciousness a little bit. Become just you, your awareness, your experience. And with kindness to yourself, observe yourself. If you are coming from the heart, or what percentage, or if you think you are, but you might not be, or you think you're not, and you might be. By creating these thoughts, you're stimulating the areas where the energy is going to focus. So this would be the heart chakra and the third eye. And it's as if we're going to invert the polarity. Okay, so that's what they're saying. It's as if. It's not really, but it's as if. So use a couple of breaths to imagine. And any imagination is good, whether it's a positive experience or maybe fear comes up. Everything's okay. I think as children, it's usually we come with the intention to live in a love-filled experience, and we end up learning different behaviors from consent. I hear you have everything right, but in the wrong places. Okay. So there's a fear of losing clarity or intelligence, or losing it, or going off the deep end. The mind is isolated and the heart is fully connected. It's connected with your instincts, whether those be aligned with reality or not, but the heart is connected to the divine, to the inspiration, to the web of creation. So the intelligence is expanded in the heart. It might be a different kind of intelligence, but there is more connectivity with higher frequency thoughts or impulses, that's what they call it, as if they were desires. The desire to serve instead of the idea to serve as being good. It is the impulse to take you to your best place. There we go. So with that said, just calm down wherever you're consciousness takes you, that's fine. There we go. Quantum consciousness. Can you see how each one of us is structured? Identify the patterns and find a way to invert. So that the energy is strongest in the heart, that the heart is the inspiration, and then the mind follows the inspiration. Okay, any resistance that comes up, any fear of ego, any fear of losing some form of capability, of cognition, of reaction. There we go. Allow the neural network to relax. Okay, so all structures, that's what they're showing, created through fight or flight that had their purpose. So any trauma-based neurological patterns, any reactive patterns or defensive patterns, that if I were to live in my heart could let go. We're going to start to undo these patterns gently, lovingly, with your acknowledgement and acceptance, with your authorization. Allow your it's as if we pull back from life when we're in resistance or try to dominate through mental intention. Both are a mind response. We just allow this to break down or to dissolve. Take a couple of deep breaths. There's a Spanish saying that you fix it with wire. You just tie it together for a quick fix. And the brain has done that. It gave you a quick fix to get you by, but then this quick fix became your normal. So allow any reactivity, avoidance, judgment, fear, stubbornness, any of those, just to be enlightened. Quantum It's as if you were undoing a fortress. When there's the analogy, you created a fortress from your own fear, but there is nothing on the other side of the fortress. You're defending yourself from nothing. When you live in your heart. There we go. Undo the timeline and the stories that supported the idea of a fortress, history, consensus. And they're showing me that if you were walking along and found the fortress, you'd say, how interesting, what's on the other side? There must be something good on the other side. And it creates your desire to penetrate the fortress. If you found a small hut, just as an analogy, you just walk by and say, oh, isn't that wonderful? There we go. And we undo the structures that were created by ourselves. And address the reason why. There's also something that we do because the higher chakras, it's like crown, third eye, throat, heart, because they are above the heart, we think they are better than. Like a scale, like something like the rungs of a ladder. I'm going higher, so it's better than. And this is the mind's way of looking as a top down, bottom up kind of attitude. And if it were circular, if we could see like the heart in the middle, and as if they were planets revolving around the heart, then the heart would be the most, I don't like to say the word important, but just like the sun. There we go. Makes so much step out of the linear. The mind is linear. Quantum consciousness can create those changes. Okay. One must flush through anything that's still holding on, hanging on, which is ready to go. Not if it's not, if it's ready to go, just allow it to move. This feels just like if you went to get a massage, how your body would relax if you enjoy the massages. It just feels like the brain is relaxing. There's a tingling sensation, especially in the back of the head, which makes sense because that's where the reptilian brain is, the fight or flight. There we go. It's as if we were giving our minds permission. It's as if the mind were the only pilot of this being, and there's a different kind of pilot. Going to take over, and the mind, if we didn't do this, would judge. The piloting. Okay, let's go into the heart and use your imagination, but it could be something very different than what you imagine. There you go. Go into the heart center. So what I hear is that we've equated, as when we're children, that our emotions get hurt, that the heart is our emotion. It's as if the heart were fragile, and there's these layers of protection around it, which in fact just smother the heart. So I'm talking about the emotional aspect of the heart, the energetics, but it would flow through to the physical heart. It's the same thing. So we're going to clear the heart of all hardships, efforting, resistance. And there's this like film, like a very thin layer of, as if it were a very thin sheath of glass. That's transparent, and if you're not aware, you would hardly see it. The idea is to dissolve this barrier. So when you're living in your heart, nobody needs to tell you what's right and what's wrong. You just know. You know that being truthful is right, that doing the correct thing is right. Because I was just looking at, it's as if this layer keeps us distant from what we inherently know as truth. Okay, so I delete that layer. And now, the example was exactly right. Imagine your heart as if it were the sun in the solar system, and it's everything revolves, everything can be healed, balanced, integrated, accepted from the center point. So it's as if it's like a recognition. That's what it feels like. Oh, the center point. You might have known it, but it just feels like on a group level that we understood it deeper. And if you recognize that concept, that energy. It's as if you step out of the linear, you go into the circular, and all the chakras start to behave differently. There's no hierarchy. It's very Aquarian age. So the analogy would be your heart chakra is the sun, and your third eye would be earth. How we used to think that the sun revolved around the earth, and now we see that the earth revolves around the sun. So much better than the driving analogy. Just like in history, that pushed some buttons, this could push some energetic buttons or conceptual buttons in your system. But once you recognize and accept, everything starts to become circular, flowing in order. Quantum consciousness, can we allow this to be the new center of awareness? Can we change the timeline and all the programs resisting any programs, thought forms, resistances, any consensus, any lineage issues, anywhere where I'm holding a resistance that is out of habit, not out of processed information. Can we release? So now in the analogy of the pilot, now that this pilot is waking up, just see how, or the center of control, however you want to call it, how the mind is starting to trust this new guidance. Allow all the changes to take place. Create a new order, a new understanding. As much as possible. Okay. Take a deep breath.